welcome back to another video of the F1 2021 My Team Career Mode, episode number 28 today for the United States Grand Prix of Season 2, round number 30. If you missed the previous episode at Japan, it was not a great track for me, Japan, then you can of course go and check that out on racing on a dry track with a wet track and dry tyres. And of course subscribe if you are new to the channel, see plenty more F1 2021 related gameplay. But yes, looking at some upgrades, it looks like Sashi's the big focus. It looks like with the fastest on on aero. So it's all about getting that Sashi in the remaining 4 races of the season. But that's going to be a hefty upgrade. Will it come in the time? I don't know. That's definitely something going to be interested in. For now, we're just going to build on the remaining upgrades that we do have as well. Red Bull have slipped ahead of McLaren, so we'll see if that can have an implication, because remember, Ricciardo is the one that's leading the championship in this My Team Career Mode in this second season. So we'll be looking for some improvements. Lando of course is improving as well. He's two points penning for positions in a row for him. He got a podium at Singapore, 6th place out in Japan last week, so hopefully he can have an equally good result. He sets the fastest lap so far as we're in our 1:30.4. See how close we can get to that. And he has been outpacing us in qualifying, which is good. I mean, because we were wiping the floor with Sainz. Norris, he's been doing a lot better. The cars, to be fair to Sainz, the car has improved, but I mean, this performance doesn't come overnight really, and I don't think Sainz will be doing quite as well as Norris would be in there. As you go wide the final corner, it's a 30.6 in the end. Norris went out again. I only did one run in Q2. Q1 might have been almost cost me a position, but in the end we were 0.3 better off. Norris went out again and actually did a 29.1, so again, I think that was a little bit of a glitch time from Lando there. I expect him to be more like, I think his first one was like a 30.4, so we'll see how close we can get to that. But moving to Q2, it's overcast, there's rain on the way, so this is definitely going to be interesting. We're 4/10 up now on our previous best lap time, which was both of them, by the way, have been set on new soft tyres throughout this session, because I only did the one run during Q1. Half a second up on our previous best lap time, and it's actually enough for P9, but unfortunately it was actually P11. Norris P9, 29.8 or 30 flat. That's more like it for us really. But yeah, it's unfortunate we couldn't get in the top 10, but we are in the best position to make informed decision with the rain incoming. It's time for the race.
Here we are then in one of the fastest growing cities in the United States, the fabulous Austin, in the great state of Texas. The circuit itself 14 miles southeast of the city centre and home to the US Grand Prix since 2012. The latest in a long list of iconic tracks to have that honour. It's the Circuit of the Americas then, situated 14 miles outside the great city of Austin. This is the 3.6 mile lap with 20 corners, 10 each to the left and to the right, and top speeds of around 200 miles per hour. Overtaking opportunities are available into turns 1 and 12, especially with that rear wing DRS wide open. With me today, of course, is Anthony Davidson. Let's start by getting your take on Daniel Ricciardo. That was a great win in the last race. Can they keep that momentum going this weekend?
It's always nice to come into a Grand Prix weekend on a high, but your expectations are based much more on your practice and qualifying runs. So it's the momentum from those sessions that they'll be hoping to carry into the race today.
It's time to take a look at our starting grid for today's race. Valtteri Bottas lines up on pole position, edging out Max Verstappen, who'll start from P2. Looking at the rest of today's grid, we have Hamilton, Ricciardo, Sebastian Vettel and Perez, Leclerc, Gasly, Norris and Fernando Alonso, the owner driver, Ocon, Mick Schumacher and Russell, Stroll, Tsunoda, Kimi Raikkonen and Luca Giotto, Mazepin, Giovinazzi, Joe and Nicholas Latifi. And with lights out just moments away, it's time to go down to the track.
Now that we've got some points on the board, let's continue this form and aim for another top 10 finish.
I think we can aim for another top 10 finish. Our race strategy, I'm not going to lie, I was playing about with this because I wanted to try and do a one-stop from mediums to softs or soft to mediums. The game didn't like that. It wouldn't let me do a one-stop without it kept inserting a second stop for some reason. So I was then thinking maybe we should just try something maybe. In the end I just decided to just stick with the softer hards. We can switch it to mediums if we can stretch the softs as well. So although that's a strategy we've looked at, I think we'll convert it to a one-stop from softs to mediums. Obviously, if that depends on the rain as well, I will try it. We might have to. We will see if we can gamble. There's 5 red lights right, and away we go. And it's a good start. Better than Alonso and Norris. Norris has a poor start there on the outside. We're going to try and go around the outside. Alonso dive bombs the Ferrari. We're going to go around the outside. It's almost 4 wide into turn 1 there as we've caught out. I think that's Leclerc in the Ferrari up to P7. It's a very good start there. As Max Verstappen then leads ahead of Valtteri Bottas and Lewis Hamilton, the Red Bull showing their pace. Daniel Ricciardo is down in P4, so can the Australian doesn't need a rush result there. Excuse me, as Leclerc now is the one who's trying to go around the outside on lap 7, not able to do that. Gasly is close behind. Lando has dropped outside the point, so that's unfortunate for him. As I say, I want him to try and get as close to me. At this point, I know I don't have pace around. The USA around Kota. As we jump to lap 13. Now, I was due in this lap 13, as Kimi Raikkonen is out of the race with an engine failure. But Jeff said the rain was only 5 minutes away, and I thought. The tyre wears are nowhere near. At this point the tyres are only like 30% full, and really we're only going to be making one stop. So I decided to take a little bit of a gamble and to see if the rain was coming. I also want to try and hold up this lot because Hamilton, Ricciardo, Perez, all the cars behind me, I've got one more stop to make. At the very least, I've got one more stop to make. We forced out Lewis Hamilton here, and we got Ricciardo, who's gone all the way around the outside and has overtaken Hamilton as well. They both got in front of Perez. That's because Verstappen and Bottas made contact. I'll show you that as they were coming out of the pits earlier. Ricciardo on the right hand side with DRS. We're going to defend the inside here. Again, we don't have the best engine, and that's going to allow Hamilton to get back in front of Ricciardo as well. But you can see it is getting overcast, so the rain is on its way, and I think we can hold on to these tyres for as long as possible. But Ricciardo goes left, Hamilton goes right. Can we defend against both of them? We're going to lift off and hope that they have a kerfuffle and we can retake the lead, or at least get one of them back as well. Hamilton takes the lead, goes side by side. We're just biding our time through this. We're going to try and go down the inside of Hamilton here, and we do get Hamilton back, but we've lost out to Ricciardo, who surely will now has a race victory in the bag as well. So that's unfortunate that Ricciardo, we're really now potentially fighting for P2. Jump to lap 17. Hamilton's coming to make his final stop. Ocon is one stopping, as you can see. He's in 5th place on the hard tyres, but the hards are dreadful. They are very slow. They're slower than the mediums. You can see tyre wear is getting there. 56% on the front right is the most we've got. So as Gasly has a go around the outside, as I say, I don't want to be going too much further than 60%. But Max Verstappen's had a dreadful race. I'll show you the contact earlier, but unfortunately for Verstappen, he is out of the race with an engine failure. And there goes Bottas through. This is what happened earlier. Hamilton jumped Verstappen in the pit stops, and Bottas and Verstappen made contact at turn 1. Both of them came in, simulation damage, and both of them came in to replace their wings. So yes, as you can see there, tyre wear. Unfortunately, the hairpin got crossed up, and unfortunately lost the position to Perez as 59%. It's definitely time, as there's a safety car has been called out to deal with Verstappen. It's a late safety car. Verstappen retired on lap 18, but yet for some reason safety car only came out on lap 19. So we're coming into the pits at the end of lap number 19 to 20. It's not wet enough for intermediates, and I question whether it is going to be wetter. We know how bad this game is for showing how wet it is, and how that it's actually drier than what it shows to be. So I think we're just going to pick for mediums. Ocon, crucially, is in second place. He is going to be slow on those hard compound tyres. I've got fresh mediums on, so at the very least they're going to be better than Hamilton and Verstappen's Hamilton and Vettel's mediums, and they're going to get slowed up behind Ocon, who is going to be a sitting dive bomb once the safety car restarts. Ricciardo is in pole position here. I expect Ricciardo to run away and extend his lead at the championship. So yes, end at lap 21, on to lap 22. It is raining harder now, but it's still not wet enough for intermediates. Safety car is in now. We're trying to get potentially look at a move at Vettel, into turn 1. Unable to make it a move done, and we have to retain P5. But we're already looking at a lot faster than Perez behind us. And on the back straight now, on lap 22, remaining on lap 22, we got a lot better exit out the hairpin, a drag race with Vettel, and we're down the inside of Vettel and up into P4. So Ocon is already starting. You can see already a lot. Ricciardo has got a huge advantage. So we're looking around the outside of Hamilton. Can this be an overtake? Turn the inside for the next corner. Yes, we can. Fabulous little move there. One move that I didn't really mistake, but Hamilton gave us the space. He was looking a little bit slow through that corner, and we just basically went right round the outside of him and turned to the inside. That's a fabulous move there, and Vettel actually going to get in front of Hamilton as well. Now we've got Ocon. We should easily be able to snatch Ocon because he is in an Alpine, which has got a slower engine than us, and he's on the hard tyres as well. It's still not wet enough for intermediates on lap 23. You can see Ricciardo is 3.5 seconds up the road. Vettel, though, is having now a go at Ocon, and going to go side by side through the S section into sector 1, and Ocon has forced Vettel out, and Ocon has done us a massive favour there, but it doesn't last long. DRS is still enabled for Vettel, and Vettel goes through on Ocon there. But Vettel's tyres, I think he wasted it. He was too far back. Ocon was that slow, as we had a little bit of a drift there. Ricciardo extending his lead. He's at the front, but for us, it's our third podium for the team this season. And what a fantastic ending. P2, I will definitely take that from 11th place on the grid. We gambled. It was a different gamble that paid off, to be honest, by pitting under the safety car. I will admit that, but nevertheless, it was a gamble. Lando P8, so he did manage to get in front there. Although, to be fair, he was helped out by Bottas and Verstappen capitulating themselves. So yes, a little bit of work for Lando, who worked to improve his focus, which is still high. I'll show his focus in a moment. But with that second place, then we've moved up to P4 in the Drivers' Championship. Fantastic. I mean, I would never thought, considering the fact, yes, we've been consistent in the top 10 all this season, but I never thought we'd actually be up in P4 as high as this. And in the Constructors' Championship, we retain P4, 9 points ahead of Ferrari now. Red Bull, I think, are a little bit too out of reach, as are Mercedes. And obviously Daniel Ricciardo has a 77-point lead at the front. Lando's Focus, though, is being massively improved. Remember when we signed him, it was like 76 or something. So it's not quite at where it was when we signed him, but remember we had that drop where there was that department event that unfortunately dropped his focus, unfortunately. But we have brought that back up to 74 now, so he's got 3 points scoring on the back. Next up is Mexico. I think that's going to be a better track for us, especially with our strong aero as well. And then obviously Brazil as well should be a good track for us as well. And then Australia is a big unknown because I haven't raced at all at that track on this year's game. So definitely interesting end to the season. We'll see if we can round off maybe another couple of podiums, a double podium. That would be nice. So yes, if you have then enjoyed this video, then leave a like, subscribe to the channel, and you see plenty more F1 2021 related gameplay. Until the next video then, I'll see you next time. Take care, thanks so much for watching, enjoy your day, and goodbye.